Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creation Show. Today, we're going to journey into a young lady's journey of pain, perseverance, and overcoming, and how she channeled all of that into this beautiful creation that we're going to talk about in a few seconds. Please welcome Richelle Peterson from Lafayette, Indiana, to the show. Welcome to the show, baby girl.
Hey, how are ya?
Great, great. We
The Beast, Creighton. I gotta do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Beast. Okay, go ahead.
We talked about we talked off camera
We did.
several times about the creation here and this beautiful story behind this. We're not going to tell what it is right now. Let's go into a little bit of your life. Who exactly is Miss Richelle Peterson?
I'm a survivor, and I'm a fighter, and I'm just a simple human being that loves God, and most days I love people. Most days. Can I say that?
We won't get into that part yet.
Yeah, right.
It's just that
Most
some
days.
people might get on your nerves from time to time.
Every now and then, but yeah, I come from a really, so the name of my company kind of, it's a clever play on words. Can I say it?
Not yet.
Oh, I can't say it yet. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Because you don't want them to look, but it's a clever play on words, and it reminds me that I just don't need to go backwards, right? So, I grew up in a really horrific environment. Struggled since pretty much the day I was born, and I've spent the last 4 years healing a lot of wounds that were like gargantuan, that were just gargantuan, right?
Gargantuan means pretty damn big.
They are pretty damn big. I mean, when you take a person that is, um, man, I was a mess. I
When
was a
did
mess.
the mess start? You mentioned to me about it started when you was diagnosed or delivered as a blue baby. Explain that and how your
RH
journey
So
took
RH
place.
negative baby. I came out, and normally when it's the third baby and they're prepared. So I was born in '65, right? So they're prepared. They have stuff ready, transfusions, extractions. You know, they put a needle in your head, a needle in your foot, and they push out the bad and put in the good. And but we didn't know that I was the third one out of my mom. So
Was that common in that era?
I mean, I don't
Was
know
the
that it was.
percentages high? Because I had never heard of that.
Well, I guess it does happen. Yes, it is. It is not an uncommon endeavor.
Okay.
Nowadays, it's different, obviously, with advances. But I was pretty much struggled since the moment I came out. Put in an incubator for 14 days. Had the extractions. Had the transfusions. So literally, it's kind of like you. I've struggled since the day I was born. I mean, like, and so and there's a lot that feels like I've struggled every day of my life.
When you're that age and you get home and you gave a good pretty much a sound thing. You said from the moment you was born. What are some of the other things that was happening with this timeline? You get born, you're in an incubator, you come home, and at that age you really don't remember a lot, but you have a pretty good memory. What started to unfold in your life?
My mom died uh, from spinal meningitis and meningococcus in her blood, which caused septicemia, which back in '69, but at the time they thought it was the flu. And by the time they realized it wasn't, it was too late, right? Um, so she died 4 days before I turned 4. So I was 3 years old. She died February 5th, and I was born on February 9th. So,
How clear is that today in your mind?
Crystal.
Really? Were you close?
That was my mom, yeah. I was her baby girl. I was like, that was my mom, you know?
Okay.
Um,
Always want to ask that because some mothers and fathers aren't really close to their kids. I got to be real, but you guys were close.
she, yeah, she's my, sorry. Wow, that's going. My therapist, who, yes, I have one of those, right? Said to me that because of the light and the unconditional love that my mom and her side of the family gave me, the first basically 4 years of my life is the only reason I didn't turn into a serial killer.
That's key because a lot of people don't understand. There's a reason they call that the formative years
Yeah.
of a child's life.
Right.
The
So there's
first person that holds that child should feel unconditional love.
right.
It all changed when your mom died
Yep.
and your father now. Let me go back.
Okay.
What was the relationship between your mom and your dad before
Not
she
great.
passed?
I mean, if they had stayed married, I was told that they probably would have got a divorce, and we would have gone with her. Which, if that had happened, my life would be completely different, I'm sure. But God has a plan,
Right.
right?
We don't see it.
We don't. We don't know what it is.
We always ask why.
Why, right? But
You
He's
know.
got a plan, and the crazy part about that is that you don't know who that plan includes.
Yeah, that's the tripped out part. And it could be a child. It can be a loved one. It could be somebody you don't know but comes back into your life.
Yeah, like when I sat. Have you heard of Earl Grant?
Mm-hmm.
I sat on his lap.
Really?
He held me when I was a baby. He was a friend of my dad's.
Get out of here.
No, right?
Why?
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad had some cool qualities. Not very many, like maybe one or two. But
What was your dad like?
he's an
Your mom was a little bit. Your relationship with your mom ended unexpectedly, but now you got to deal with your dad. What was your dad like?
So my dad first came home when my mom died and said that God needed her more than I,
Okay.
more than me and my brother, right? So I had an 18. I have a full brother that's 18 months older than I. That was hard. My dad was not a kind man. My
When you
dad,
say not kind, what does that
I mean, he was dark.
indicate?
He was dark. Like that man lived with Satan. He was dark. You could see it in his eyes. He had black eyes.
Really?
He was a dark Swede. He was 6 foot, dark hair, olive skin, dark eyes. Period. End of story. He was just not.
Did other people feel the same that
Yeah.
you did? That
Yeah.
was
People were scared of him.
Really? Family and friends?
Yeah. My stepmother, later on in life, I found out, was terrified of him. Terrified of him.
How did you know your stepmom?
So my stepmom, she was my dad's secretary when my mom died.
Soon after she.
They were having an affair, I guess.
Wow.
And then I had a nanny. My brother and I had a nanny, and named Jebby. And her leaving actually is one of the traumatic memories that I had as a kid, like standing in the drive. So the whole abandonment issue, right?
Mm-hmm. Who did you gravitate to more after your mom died? Were there anybody that you gravitated to? Okay.
My nanny,
Why did you gravitate to her versus your stepmom?
because she was nice.
Even your stepmom wasn't nice?
So I had 3 main abusers in my life. And when I say abusers, I mean physical, emotional, mental, and sexual. My dad and my brother were all 4. And my stepmother was 3 of them. And so, like, I have memories of, I didn't want to eat. This is so, it seems trivial, but I didn't like cottage cheese when I was a kid.
Who does?
Right? And she made this casserole that had cottage cheese in it. And I knew it had cottage cheese. And I would spend time picking out the cottage cheese because it was just, to me, it was gross. I probably wasn't even, I was like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
One day she got mad. She started shoving she grabbed a spoon and grabbed the container of cottage cheese and started shoving it in my mouth. While I'm puking, she's making me swallow it back down while she's putting more cottage cheese in my mouth.
Where was the nanny still there?
No, she was gone by then.
So I can see why.
She was only there a year.
I can see why. Did the nanny witness
No.
some of this
No.
abuse that was going on?
No.
So they knew when to perform these things.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of.
My brother was also a victim at that age,
What do you
young
mean?
age.
What do you mean?
Well, he was a abuse victim by my father.
So he suffered all of the 4 elements of abuse that you just
And then
indicated.
when he became older, he
repeated the
on me,
situation
yeah,
on you.
on me. And so, but like things like my dad used to like I used to lay in my bed. I used to be terrified of the dark. Terrified. Terrified. Like the dark,
It could be paralyzed if someone in
and
your
that's what I
ears.
did, yeah. But I also remember laying in my bed when I was very young, probably like 6, 5, 6, something like that, praying that he wouldn't come in my room, and my dad, and I got really good at being absolutely terrified, but looking like I was completely relaxed asleep. So that if he came in, he wouldn't see me like this, he'd just see me, you know, asleep.
So
And
you had to learn a coping skill
Absolutely.
at a young age.
Yeah, and hope to God that he would leave me alone. Yeah, no.
What about your brother? Did you have to practice the same skills?
No, because my brother would just do it during the day, and if I refused, he'd beat me with a baseball bat. This is when I was a teenager.
Wait a minute. Beat you with a baseball bat.
Yeah, he'd hit me with a baseball bat.
And you was a teenager.
I was a young teen. I was like 12, 13, 11, 12, 13.
Was anybody?
Nope.
Nobody knew what was going
Because
on.
he did, it was like, he did it during the day. Like, if we were home during summer break, yeah.
What about when you go to the doctor? There was no, you go to a OBG. I mean, they didn't.
You don't do that at that age.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't go to an OBG until I was at boarding school.
Like, even the school didn't know? I mean,
No.
but was there anybody you can confide in?
No.
Were there threats brought to you if you did?
Yes.
Okay.
But you also have to understand, so like my dad, my dad asked me one time when I was I think I was like 15, why do you hate your brother so much? And he flat out said, did he touch you? And I said, yes, and he changed the subject.
Why do you think your dad
Because he was a
needed
coward.
validation from your brother versus did you ask him?
He asked me that question and changed the subject.
Did you ask your father? Did you touch me, Dad?
Oh no, I was scared to death of him.
Now that you look back on it, why do you think that question was brought to you from your dad?
Because he wanted some sick thought process, probably. My dad died in 90, thank God.
When did the abuse from
When I
both
left.
stop?
When I left home at 18.
They was still mentally,
No,
verbally.
mentally, verbally, and physically. So my dad and I got in a fight. He was an alcoholic. So my dad was a sociopathic alcoholic. Do you know what that means?
No, please.
That means an alcoholic with no conscience. Right? So here's a man that like lived in darkness, hung out with Satan.
When you say hung out with Satan, elaborate on that a little bit. You mean he hung out with bad people, or little moral fiber individuals that could care less about other individuals?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had no
How did he feel about other people? Let's call it what it is. What did your dad and brother, how did they feel about other people? Because if you're that dark, you don't, when you're that dark, like you said, you don't attract many people. They would be scared of you, or the people that know who you are, that rolls in that same circle, birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah, but people like that are also very good at hiding.
Okay, that makes
Right.
sense.
right? There's a lot of bad people in the world, right? For real, honestly. There's bad people in the world, but boy, you can put a face on and people just want, they might not know. I mean, there's a lot of people that knew me previously that didn't think I was a disaster walking, but I was.
What caused the fight between you and your dad?
So he was an alcoholic. I was I I think one of the only reasons I survived my life as a teenager was because I went to boarding school, 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade, right? And then my dad ran out of money, and his drinking got worse, so he ran out of money, and I had to be home. And I only had to be home for a year and a half, if, truly, because I, had more credits for high school, blah, blah, blah. So one day I was home. I got up in the morning. My dad said, go make me a drink. And my dad drank vodka with a splash of Coke in a tall glass. That's what he drank.
Mm.
Okay? Morning. Some people drink coffee for morning. No, he drank vodka with splash Coke. So he said to me, he said, go make me a drink. I don't know why. I can't tell you what. But I do know that something clicked.
You snapped.
I did, and inside. So I walked in the kitchen and I poured him Coke with splash vodka, just to mess with him. I'd had enough. So, 18 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put the drink down. I wait. I'm watching. And he takes a sip. And he looks at me and he said, I said, make me and he used profanity, a drink. So I got up and I dumped some of the Coke out and I put more vodka in it, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Put it back down and he looks at it. It's darker than it should be. He says, what the is wrong with you? I said, make me a GD drink. Now. And he gets this look in his face, right, in his eye, and there's hell coming. I mean, when that look comes, like, you duck, because there's a swing coming somewhere. You don't know from where, but it's coming. So I'm like, screw it. I got up, I dumped that vodka down the drain, and he heard it going. And he gets up and comes running from the couch, and he picks me up by my shirt and throws me against the kitchen wall. And I hit the kitchen wall and fall, hit the ground, because I'm a little, he threw hard. I was a skinny little thing back then, right? Skinny and scrawny, tall, lanky, whatever. Bam, I hit that wall. And I get down and I look at him and I go, you touch me one more time, MF, and I'll kill you. And he came at me again. And by this time, my stepmother's running out of the bedroom, coming down the hall. And he comes out and grabs me again and throws me against the wall. And this time, we're like nose to nose, right? Mm-hmm. So when he pushes me and throws me on that wall, it hurt. My head hit the wall. I think I kind of went unconscious for a little bit, slumped down on the floor, and I got back up. And I looked at him and I said, bring it.
What did your stepmom do?
Well, at that point, she stepped in and said, Bruce, don't do it. Because he lost it. Like, he could have killed me right
Did you lose it?
I ran. I ran.
Okay.
So I ran back to my bedroom, locked the door. I was in there for like 6 hours.
Contemplating on what the aftermath might be with him, or contemplating
what the hell did I just do?
What the hell did I do?
What was I thinking? Well, I left and moved to Arizona shortly after that from Illinois.
Really? How'd you get out the house? You just went out the window?
Actually, my stepmother had calmed him down enough. He wouldn't talk to me after that, and I was dating a guy that he didn't like, which I wasn't supposed to be dating anyone because, he told me one time when I was like 13, when you have sex, you need to tell me. I'm sorry, what? No, I don't. He said, yes, you do. a whole nother story of psychotic. But he was a coward. So my dad was a coward. Bottom line, he was a coward. So like we bred Great Danes when I was 12, like 11, 12ish, right? And back then, we bred Harlequin Danes, and it was supposed to be a business. So my dad, we had a litter. One of our female dogs had a litter, and one of them was a Merle. And back then, it was thought that Merles, which have more gray on them, they're black and gray, would go insane after a year. So they didn't make a lot of money. So my dad, 6-hour-old puppy, made me drown it in the laundry room sink. And my stepmother stood right by me while I did it. Because she couldn't do it. And I can speak of it now as matter of fact because
That's some fucked up shit, you know that.
maybe I
right?
can't speak of it like matter of fact, but it is fucked up shit. She My stepmother did things like bend a math book that was 1.5 inches thick on my spine because I spilled rice on the kitchen floor.
Do you think that your stepmom was a product of your father's abuse?
That, and she was also raped by her brother when she was a kid. She was a coward too. So, I used to get in trouble for the most stupid shit. And I would get beat with whatever was handy. Right? My uncle, my dad's brother, was also an abuser. Yeah.
So both of them were molesting you.
Yeah. I don't know how many times my uncle did. Yeah.
How did you?
Like this.
My hats off to you, and thank you for coming to the show and sharing such a heartfelt story of pain, suffering, and redemption on your part.
Thanks.
That had to be a. How did you? What was your? Did you know your grandfather at all?
Grandpa Pete, no. Grandpa Pete was, he died when I can't remember if it's before I was born or after, but he was an alcoholic like my dad. He was a very hard man like my dad. He probably started it all, if not before him.
So you think that maybe your dad might have raped your dad?
Yeah. So then, but my grandmother, my dad's mom, she didn't like us because we were Jewish. She was prejudiced against us. And she told us that. Yeah, right?
You try to, it's an old saying. It's an old saying. You're not the only person that's going through something. There's always somebody else that has it far worse than what you do.
However, I will tell you this, Beast.
What?
My worst day, guarantee you, is somebody else's best.
Hold on. Let me get a napkin. Hold on.
I'm good. It'll go away.
These are soft.
There's now I'm.
How long have you held this in? That's the key. That's the key. I know you're going to therapy.
So I was married 3 times, first of all. I was married 3 times. Married my son's father twice for the old college try. I didn't know how to have a relation. I didn't know.
I was just getting ready to ask you that. Did you find yourself? I hear this from most individuals, more so women. They marry guys that's almost like their father.
No, none of them were.
But you just didn't know how to give love to the
I
relationship.
did not know what a healthy relationship. So I was never taught emotional literacy as a child,
Okay.
right? Because I didn't, I mean, first of all, there was no emotional stability. There wasn't anything that was good emotion.
You know, the first time I ever heard that statement was from Joey Badass, the rapper that plays in the 50 Cent
Yep.
series. And I listened to him on a podcast, and he said, I never had emotional
Literacy.
And I had to literally look that up because I was like, wow, what is that? And it surprised me the number of individuals who, when they begin to dig deep in their traumas,
Yeah.
that's one of the key elements that even myself probably suffered from at one point.
Yep. Well, and there's a lot of things that go with abuse survivors, right?
Mhm.
So when you are abused as a child, your body emotionally stops.
Right.
You try and be like all that in a bag of chips, but you ain't poop, right? You don't know how to be an adult. So here's this adult with child emotions
Right.
trying to marry, be healthy, have healthy relationships, raise children.
And blend into society, what
Yeah.
society considers the norm.
Right. And so my son, God love him, he struggles with some stuff that he's trying to get worked out, right? I did the best I could, but I know that wasn't enough because I didn't have the emotional literacy to be an adult. I wasn't emotionally I wasn't an adult. So what's really weird, so 4 years ago, I was raped on a date. And so
Wait a minute.
hold
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
How did you? What happened on that date?
Um, Again, I was a disaster walking, and I thought that I needed a man in my life to have my self worth,
Okay.
right? Which most abandonment issues, I mean, there's a list, and just from being a survivor, there's a list of things and emotions and thoughts that you have.
It's a pattern that if you have abandonment issues, you follow a path.
Right.
That's usually the path of self-destruction.
So right, and here's which I was really good at self-destruction. I was perfect at self-destruction, self-sabotage.
How long did you know? Did you know this guy?
It was like our second date, I think, and met him online, and I always thought, well, they're scared. People can be scared of me because I can be a tough one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hard, whatever.
Look what you went through. I wouldn't
I'm aggressive.
say it any other way.
Well, yeah, like for me, it is what it is, right? So, but went on a date, went back to my house to hang out, and stuff happened, and he took it farther than he should have. The no, ignored the no, a lot of times the no, and I froze. I just froze. I couldn't. I froze. However,
That took you back to your dad, where you were
it
just
took me back to anybody.
yeah.
Because that wasn't my first rape. That wasn't my first rape by a person other than my family, right? So, but it was my last, guaranteed.
Why was it your last?
Because there is nobody in this. First of all, because now I'm like in my, so I'm 59 years old, but I'm like in my 40s emotionally now. Because I went through the last 4 years, I went through healing, right? And I mean, I've done the work. Like I have ripped. It was like someone. Let me back up let me back up for a second. For 2 months, it happened in June of 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was God's way of getting my attention. That's how I look
Elaborate
at it.
on that, because some people may not understand why you
Okay, so
say
everything's permissible, and I believe this wholeheartedly with all my heart and soul.
Mhm.
I went through stuff that, like, I'm barely scratching the surface, right? So everybody has a choice, good or bad,
that.
right or wrong, black or white. You have a choice. At the end of the day, God gives us the will to make a choice. So whatever choice you choose, good or bad, there is a ripple effect, consequence. It's a bad choice. So my dad, being the idiot that he was and the ass that he was and the dark person that he was, made a choice. And me being his child suffered for it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
God was there. He gave him permission to make that choice. He gave the guy that, and now I don't even remember his name. Thank God. And I think that's okay, honestly.
Yeah, I think that is good.
Karma's a bitch, though, because he hit a deer on the way home and wrecked his new truck. Bam, totaled it. Anyway, moving on.
Did he die?
No.
Okay.
No. But he made a choice, and I was the consequence of it. Right? So everything that happens is permissible by God. We as humans are like, why? Well, God wouldn't do that. God didn't do that. God gave humans the will.
So that's why they call it free will. But free will also comes with consequences and a ripple effect.
Yes, it does. And people don't think about that, right? So I went down a serious rabbit hole of darkness again. For about 2 months. I completely checked out of my business, my life, everything. I just checked out.
You mean you went in a deep state of depression?
Um,
Like, what do you mean when you say checked out? Suicidal?
I got there, yeah. I got suicidal. God, so when I say checked out, when I go into darkness, you go back into places that,
I got you. You shouldn't go, but you go there.
yeah,
And it's hard to
Yeah.
figure out how to get back out.
yeah, you're stuck in that room of hell. I call it hell. It's hell, right? So all you see, nothing you see is good. That's when Satan starts talking to you.
Let me ask you a question. You got a brother and you got sisters?
Nope, I got a full brother and a half brother. That's all I got.
Were both brothers victims? We know one was.
One was, but my half brother, I didn't even know he existed till I was 16. So and he was 5 years older than me. So no, he wasn't around my dad. My dad.
When these unfortunate rapes happened, did you notify authorities?
The first time I did, and I got nowhere. They asked me, and they wanted to put it on me.
Okay.
Okay.
The last one where the guy got hit with a deer.
Yeah, not worth it. I'm not going through that hell again. No way. No way. So, which didn't help matters, right?
Right.
Doesn't help matters. So August of 2020, beginning of August, I had, it was time. It's time to go. So I told myself, it's time to go.
Time to check out.
I mean, go. Not come back.
When you're thinking like that,
There's one thought that kept me alive.
what was that? Your kid?
My son.
Your son?
Yep. And so I got on my knees and I said, God, I can't do it. I can't be here again. I can't do this anymore. I can't be in this space, in the pain. Because that pain, if you've never experienced it, it's like, I've never had shingles, but I know what people tell me.
I've had shingles. It is a bitch.
Every cell in your
Every
body
cell in your body hurts.
And you can't make it go away. No matter what you do, it can't It doesn't stop hurting, right?
I slept the whole entire time.
You can't sleep in this one.
I had shingles
Yeah.
because that was the only way I can tolerate it.
Okay.
So I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Because it hurt so bad that
Right.
I said, so I get what you're saying. The only place I can go was the dark, well, sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, because that gets rid of whatever's real.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now it's not real anymore because I'm sleeping.
Right.
So I don't have to feel, I don't have to think. Now go ahead though and throw in nightmares and like spiritual warfare and shit going on in your head.
That's fucked up.
And then you can't even, like, you wake up and you're like,
Paralyzed.
yeah. Because you got so much fear, right? But you still got to function in real world because you got a business to run, right? You gotta still be normal, right? So,
How much of this did your son know about his mom and what you went through?
he doesn't know all of it.
You shared with him what he needed to know.
He knows I had a bad childhood, and he might know some things, but he doesn't know that, he doesn't know about my uncle. He doesn't know about,
What scares you about raising your son now, knowing that this appears to be generational?
well, it's not, so I stopped it.
How?
I didn't abuse him.
Okay, I got you.
He was not abused sexually. He was not abused physically. I probably, and I'm going to say that I was probably emotionally and mentally somewhat abusive. That's probably the first time I've ever said that.
What do you mean? Give me an example when you say that, because I don't want people to take it out of context that you was like,
I made him eat hot dogs when he didn't want to eat hot dogs.
okay. Now that's really going back to the cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Being forced down your throat by your stepmom.
I never told him he was less than, though. Never. There's one thing that I will tell you without a doubt. He never questioned if I loved him. He never questioned if I was there. He never questioned the amount of love and care I had for him. What he questioned was work over him, men over him, in that way.
You got, before we wrap up, there's a few more questions I want to throw.
You're going to go long, aren't you?
You got a lot on your plate.
I do.
And you said some profound things that I guess people really, if they were paying attention to what you were saying, they would get your journey and where the art of healing comes in. Not going to therapy, yeah, that's part of it, but it really goes beyond that because we can talk to a therapist all day long. We still got to do the internal. We still have to do the ones that go back.
You still got to rip open your chest, get the bear claws, run them down and reopen every wound that ever happened in your body and clean it out and do the work and get rid of it.
You said the universe, God, whatever you want, gives us free will. I believe that.
Yes.
With that free will, this happened with your family.
Yes.
Also with free will, you hear people saying, God forgives, I don't.
I do. I forgave my father. I don't like him. And this is where there's a crisscross, I think, and a misunderstanding. Just because you forgive someone
Don't mean you forget.
doesn't mean you gotta like them, and doesn't mean you gotta have a warm fuzzy. Because I ain't got no warm fuzzies for any of those idiots that have done things that they shouldn't have done. So while I have no use for my father's memory at all, mind you, none, I forgive him, for he knew not what he did in a certain way. He did know that he did it. He knew he did them, but he didn't know what was driving it.
I get you.
My stepmother, I don't talk to her either. I believe she's dead now. I forgive her because, again, she didn't understand. She was terrified. I asked her one time, why didn't you rescue us? You were the adult. You were supposed to take us away. She was terrified of my father. I can't fault her for having fears that were absolutely true and real to her.
Yeah.
Right. And she didn't know how to do the work to get rid of it. She didn't have that courage. She didn't have that bravery like a lot of other people do, right? So my brother, he's asked to be back in my life, and I told him he lost that right when he had the opportunity to be a big brother and didn't. I forgive him. Again, he knew not what he did.
What do you learn from all this? I know that's crazy to say, but you also stated that things, and I believe this, things happen for a reason. What did you take away from all this as you move forward with your life?
So there's a lot of things in my life that were messed up. A lot of years that were messed up. However, and I don't say but, because but discounts what you say before it, right?
Right.
Heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, however, when a therapist looks at you and says, it's a miracle you're not a serial killer, you think about that. I'm not. I love people. I'm human. And I made it. Like, I'm on the other side of hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the other side of hell. I actually, for the first time, have a healthy relationship with a male person.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Whether it lasts or not, who knows? I don't care.
Enjoy the ride.
I'm just right. I'm
Yeah.
just here to enjoy the ride. I have a beautiful granddaughter that I love, that I truly know how to love, and I have a mad love and respect for my son and my daughter-in-law. Okay.
I think you just broke in the curse. You just broke in the curse.
Yeah, and I have another grandchild on the way that I can't wait to meet and say, I'm grandma, right? I'm proud. I made it this far, dude. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I'm as healthy as a horse, if you will. I'm mentally healthier than I've ever been. It doesn't mean that I'm 100%, but I'm so much closer than I ever was.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that I have empathy for that I probably never would have had compassion and empathy for if I had not gone through what I've gone through. There is a book started called On the Other Side of Fear is Chocolate and God.
Okay.
It's a hard one. It's taken me a long time. It's been sitting on that like back burner forever, but I actually started dictating the book.
Let's talk about something even greater than that. Out of all that pain, all of that trial and suffering, you created something even more delicious. Explain this.
So this actually was a lot of the healing process was this company. I learned a lot as this company, it's called Richelle in a Handbasket,
Okay.
which is a play off of Everything's Gone to Hell in a Handbasket, right?
Right.
So my previous life was hell. So I started this company, October will be 10 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It actually started, which I didn't realize, but God set it up to be a catalyst for my projection forward as a human being, right? Because I was a jerk. Like the first few years as a boss, I was a jerk. I'm just going to put it out there for everybody. And that came from, and I also didn't learn financial literacy because my dad was an ass, right? So I'm learning all of that stuff, which is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Life is hard, right? So the caramel corn that's in that basket is a puffed caramel corn.
It looks delicious.
It's called Addiction, and there's 14 different flavors. And the reason why it's called Addiction is because I went through addictions.
Okay.
You know, when you're a mess, you look for a way to numb the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was addicted to cocaine and I was addicted to sex. So that reminds me, I used to, in my smaller shop, there was one side that was the wall of addiction, and there was another one that was the wall of redemption, because that's what I was doing. I was trying to redeem myself, not only in um, God's eyes, but in humanity's eyes, in my mind, right? Um, and then
Which was tougher, man or God?
God,
Okay.
for sure,
Okay.
because man doesn't give a shit. Want to know the God's honest truth as a society, right? So then, because it came about as a gift basket company,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody remembers as human beings how to give anymore. Like they give based on what they like, or they give you
A gift
gift
card.
card. And here, I'm going to give you a gift card for your birthday, and I want you to do the work and go shopping. Like if it's an experience, like a dinner out or something, that's one thing. But when someone gives you a gift card to go shopping, please,
Yeah.
you need to do the work. You need to be the one that goes and gets your wife, your friend, whatever. And then if you want to talk about corporate giving, I don't need another pen or another koozie. Dear God.
Yeah. Or a cup holder.
Or a cup holder. Right.
Or a towel.
Or a towel. Exactly. So
Put some thought in it.
we put thought in baskets. We do. We have generic baskets, all consumables. But because I'm a control freak, and I admit it,
Okay.
as wholeheartedly as I can be, I'm a control freak, and any entrepreneur is.
Yeah.
Period.
It's your business.
Yeah.
And if it falls,
It's on you.
it's on you.
Nobody else, just
And
you.
the first thing people say is, I knew it wasn't gonna.
And
You don't.
yeah,
As an entrepreneur, you don't want that.
no. So I didn't like the chocolates in the area, so I decided, oh, well, I'm gonna do my own. So I didn't, but smart. I didn't want to like get a big manufacturing facility and all of this. So I found a company that I outsourced to that made chocolate the way I would, or close enough to, right? So the chocolate's really clean, and it doesn't have any hydrogenated oils. And so we make all of our chocolates in house.
Mm-hmm.
We make all of our caramel corn in house. We make our brownies in house.
And you make. Let me put this before we have to wrap up. And you make.
And we make cheesecake. So when I expanded, I brought in desserts. We started making, before we did that, I brought in a company that makes amazing cheesecakes, and then they didn't want to do it anymore. And so,
But you don't make just cheesecake.
No,
You
we
make
make-
other
we make other cakes.
pastries
Yeah,
and,
all
and,
kinds of
and
stuff.
things.
Yeah. If you look at our website, you'll see like chocolate cake and all kinds of stuff.
How can the viewers reach out to you?
So you can go to RichelleNahanBasket.com. We're on the website. And you can look us up or give us a call. So I'm that person that wants to, like I told you, control freak. I got to touch, right? Touch. So we customize baskets based on your needs, actually based on the needs of the person that you're giving it to. So all of our corporate baskets are done that way. All of our gift baskets for individuals are done that way. You can come in and pick your stuff, or you can call us, tell us about them, what their interests are, what their colors are, whatever, and we'll do it that way. But you can reach us at 765-441-2626. But Richelle Nahan Basket, you can click on that website. There's forms to get a hold of us. You can order online.
And you guys ship anywhere.
We ship all over actually, we have shipped to Turkey, we've shipped to India, we've shipped to Germany, we ship to Canada all the time. So we ship all over the world.
Okay.
But it's my baby.
It's a beautiful story and a definitely beautiful journey. I want to once again thank you so much for taking the time out to come into the studio and share such a remarkable story. Sorry that it opened up a lot of.
Don't apologize. Those need to be open when they. How things open is not my doing. That's God's. And you know, I'm comfortable enough in my space, in my head, and in my heart to know that if it's open, it's supposed to be, and it's all good. And I'll just work through whatever that work through looks like. So if it means that I cry for 20 minutes, or if it means I yell, or I hit something, a pillow, or I write, if there was anything that I could tell someone that has been through hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or has been, that is a survivor of abuse. And because I don't look at any of them as victims, right? If you got through it, you survived it.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether you've processed it or not, you still survived, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I could tell anyone anything, it would be this. You are way stronger than you give yourself credit for. You can fight because you did it. So you can still fight. And you still have the courage and the bravery to open the wound and clean it out and do the work to be better. Because I promise you, with every ounce of my being, that on the other side of that fear and on the other side of that wound healing, there's peace, there's love, self-love, there's not self-sabotage, there's not anger, there's not rage, there's not fear, there's just calm. There's calm. It's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast.
The Beast.
Creighton.
The Beast.
Show.